Had good news for some days now. The best news we're getting is from the world of cricket, because Team India are proving to be unstoppable in Australia. They've sailed into the semi-finals of the World Cup today after thrashing Bangladesh by a comprehensive 109 runs. Not only India's 7th successive win in this World Cup, but Mahendra Singh Dhoni's 100th ODI win as captain.
Another dominant display, and India have stormed into the semi-finals of the Cup that matters. This time it was their Asian rivals Bangladesh who were at the receiving end of the Indian juggernaut. And now fans are already smacking their lips with the possibility of an India-Pakistan semi-final. The 109-run victory against Murtaza's men means India will now take on either Pakistan or Australia in the semis. Any of the two matchups will provide plenty of action to savour. But Indian fans would hope Pakistan can knock out the co-hosts, making the semis a relatively easier match for them.
Well, right now it's Australia because, they've got the batting firepower, they've got the bowler, the best bowler in the tournament supposedly, which is Mitchell Starc. So, yeah, I mean, the contest is going to be a good one. Let's hope it's a good game and Pakistan put up a good fight and good show.
India's form in the tournament has been remarkable, winning 7 out of 7 played so far. And the difference clearly has been India's bowling performance. The Indian bowlers have taken a perfect 70 wickets out of 70 in the tournament. While Mohammad Shami continued his rich run of form against Bangladesh, his 2 for 37 figures also made him the leading wicket taker of the tournament. Other bowlers like Mohit Sharma, R. Ashwin and Umesh Yadav have all scalped in double figures.
Bowling attack looks much more penetrative now. They've bowled with a lot of aggression, a lot of purpose, and whatever I've seen so far, I'm absolutely impressed with their performance.
Meanwhile, India's batting has lived up to their massive billing as well, and the best part has been every batsman has chosen his time and stood up for the team when required the most. Latest being the Mumbaikar lad Rohit Sharma. India were in a spot of bother with Dhawan and Virat being dismissed against Bangladesh. But up stepped Rohit and completely changed the course of the game.
It's good news for Rohit Sharma. I think he's played a wonderful innings. It's a much different Rohit Sharma because he didn't throw it away. India lost a few wickets and he batted till the end and batted well with Suresh Raina to take India to 300.
Shikhar Dhawan has been India's leading run scorer with 367 runs, including 2 centuries. Virat Kohli too has scored 300 plus runs in the 7 games played thus far. Raina, Rohit and Dhoni have all chipped in with important performances throughout the Cup that matters. India are in 7th heaven right now, but the job is only half done, with 2 of the most important matches the team can play up next. Sports Bureau headlines today.
The big question is Mahendra Singh Dhoni, India's greatest one-day captain ever. He's just completed his 100th victory in ODIs. Special panel to tell me whether they agree with that or not. Andrew Simons, 2-time World Cup winner from Australia. Nikhil Chopra, international cricketer from India. Chetan Chauhan to look at and give us a historical perspective from his generation since he saw the great Kapil Dev. Harbhajan Singh, winner of the 2011 World Cup. Appreciate all of you joining us. I'll also be joined by Saurav Ganguly, who will join me from Melbourne in a minute. But before that, I just want to give all of you, including Saurav, a look at the statistics. Where do we stand when it comes to Indian captains? And that includes Saurav there. Take a look at this. Kapil Dev played 74 matches, won 39, lost 33. That's a success rate of about 54.16. Mohammad Azharuddin played 174, 190, lost 76. Success rate more or less similar to Kapil, 54.16. Saurav Ganguly played 147, 176, lost 66. Again in the same range, 53.52. Mahendra Singh Dhoni played 177, 100, lost 62, much higher success rate, 61.21. Given that, Saurav Ganguly, would you agree there in Melbourne, Dhoni's 100th win as captain, is he now firmly established as India's best ODI captain, even better than a certain Dada Ganguly?
Yeah, by far I think he's India's best ODI captain. I think that's been established a long time ago. His record in World Championships is unbelievable. He's won the T20, the Champions Trophy, the World Cup, and he's on the verge of winning another World Cup. Although it's still some distance away, but India might go the distance as well. So he's by far India's best ODI captain.
What makes him sort of such a successful captain? What is that one quality which you think makes him click, particularly in the one-day game?
I think he raises his game. He raises the game of his team. He's himself a very good one-day player. He enjoys this format and his game raises also. I think India in one-day cricket is a very formidable side. So that's the reason. And I think nowadays there's so many World Cups which keep coming one after the other. Every year there is some World Championship going on. So there is an opportunity for good sides like India to win it. I think from 2007 to 2015, Dhoni must have captained 8 or 9 World Championships. And he's won 3. So it's an opportunity also which makes him win such big games.
You know, it seems also, Saurabh, that he's enjoying his game. I've never seen Mahendra Singh Dhoni smile as much as he did today, even when he took that catch.
Yeah, with that catch, isn't it? I think that catch got him excited. But deep down under, he knows that it's a tournament which has to be won. Here, there is pressure. There's no captain in world cricket who will play a World Cup without any pressure, especially when you're a side who's capable of winning a World Cup. So he just doesn't show it. You know, what you see Dhoni from outside is quite different than Dhoni from inside. I'm sure there's no captain in the world who can be as cool and as plain-faced as Dhoni is without having any tensions and nervousness from inside.
Okay, I'll come back to you, but you've admitted now already that Dhoni is India's #1 ODI captain, better than even Sourav Ganguly. Let me ask the panel. Andrew Simons, you've seen both Sourav Ganguly and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Who's the better captain? Is Dhoni India's best captain that you've had to face?
Yes, he is. I think going on his record, he's been able to win big games and big tournaments. Sourav was, unfortunately, he's not in that category, and that's why I'd say he's a better captain.
So you're going with Dhoni. Nikhil?
Well, absolutely. Somebody who's been captain of India for 177 games, 100 games under his belt. It's a phenomenal record. The T20 World Cup, the final T20, the Champions Trophy, the 2011 World Cup that he's won, and he's on the brink of creating history again, Rajdeep.
Harbhajan has played with both. You played under both, Sourav and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Is Dhoni the better one-day captain?
See, the time is obviously that was a different time and this is a different time, and Sourav Ganguly was making the team after the world, whatever happened, that match fixing and after that scandal, you know, and Sourav did a great job for leading the team from the front, and we got that belief that we can win abroad, we can do well in one-dayers and test matches. But Dhoni definitely have proven that he is also a very, very good.
Who's better?
Both are good for me. You know, I can't say.
But you're sitting on the fence. You're sitting on the fence. That's not good enough. We're looking for an answer.
No, if you go by records, you know, Dhoni have won more big tournaments like World Cup and 2007 2020 World Cup. So
they're very different characters.
Yes, they are.
The Dhoni is very calm. Sourav is very energetic. You know, he used to allow his feelings to express itself. Did that make it easier to play with Dhoni than with a Sourav, or both in their own way? Because Sourav also built, as you said, the Indian team.
Yeah, for me, you know, as a player, it didn't matter who was the captain. For me, what mattered was what I had to do. You know, as a person, as a team member. You know, obviously your captain is as good as his team, and Dhoni have got a brilliant team. You know, when he took over the team from Sourav, and he was lucky. He got that sort of team, you know, who gave him the platform to succeed at that level. And Sourav definitely made us believe that we can go abroad, we can win test matches abroad, and both are good.
Sure. I think you're right. In a way, it's unfair to judge two cricketers who've contributed so much to Indian cricket. But Chetan John, just going back in history, Sunil Gavaskar, the Azharuddins and Kapil Dev, all of whom you played with, certainly the first two that you played with, Gavaskar and Kapil Dev. Am I to completely negate their contribution? Is Dhoni today now on another level, particularly when it comes to one-day cricket? Is he on another level?
See, do I have a choice of disagreeing with the statistics which is there?
No, it's up to you.
The statistics is very clear. So you have to go by the records. And the record clearly says that he has won the maximum number of matches, 1. Even in percentage, he is #1. 2. Also, he has won all the major tournaments, whether it's 2020 World Cup, the World Cup, then Champions Trophy, and now reaching the semi-finals into this World Cup. So I think but at the same time we have to give credit to Sourav Ganguly also. He's built a side. what I, having been the manager of the Indian side a few times, what I felt was that here is a man, here is a captain who is assertive, who has given this kind of confidence that we can win series outside India too.
That was Saurav.
Yes, so that's Saurav Ganguly.
But Dhoni seems to have done something in the one-day game, which perhaps even Saurav could not. Maybe the team is better. Maybe we are a better fielding side than we were 10 years ago. Maybe we have more match winners possibly than we had 10, 15 years ago. Maybe the team has changed. So let me just put the other question to all of you and to Saurav. Saurav, you know, winning this World Cup, so far we've been on a roll. We won 7 matches in a row. But many believe that the real test is that semi-final, when we will play the winner of Australia versus Pakistan. Is that the real stage now, which will decide whether India retains the World Cup and Mahendra Singh Dhoni goes down in history as the only captain to win 2 successive World Cups along with Ricky Ponting and Clive Lloyd?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Rajdeep. That's going to be the game which is going to decide. It's going to be a cracker of a game, and I want Australia to qualify because we need some good games in this World Cup. You know, Australia, India in Sydney on the 26th of March will be just a game which will be watched by everyone around the world, every Indian around the world, every Australian around the world. The stands will be full, and 2 of the best sides of the tournament will clash against each other. So World Cup is for those sort of games, and I actually hope Australia qualifies.
But if Dhoni wins the World Cup, will that be bigger than even in 2011 winning at home? Because this win will then come in a foreign country, in Australia, where we've had a mixed record. In your view, is this 2015 World Cup going to decide Dhoni's true place in Indian cricket history?
No, I think every achievement is bigger. I'm a big fan of winning tournaments overseas, and I would rate it actually bigger than winning in India, because winning in Australia is a big effort for teams from subcontinent.
And you don't think that winning this World Cup will be critical to say that then Dhoni is not just the greatest captain that India has produced, but he could also be called as the captain of any world side, all-time world side. Dhoni becomes the captain of that team?
No, I think he's got a close contest with Ricky Ponting. You know, you cannot put Ricky Ponting aside. He's got a terrific record as in one-day cricket as well, in World Championships as well. And let's not get into that. You know, we are for Dhoni, and for us, it's about India winning the World Cup, and the entire country will salute Dhoni, and Dhoni will forever be in the history of Indian cricket as the best captain ever.
Okay, let's then put that to the panel. Is India going to win the World Cup? First to the Australian, because you've got a thing or two to say presumably about that. The big game tomorrow against Pakistan, and then possibly one against India. Man for man, which is the better team, Australia or India? I'm putting you on the line.
I think Australia. Australia's got a little bit more firepower when it comes to the bowling. I think the batting lineups are they're very closely matched. And I think bowling firepower, I think we're slightly...
You don't have a spinner. You don't have a spinner. We have Ashwin. You don't have an Ashwin.
We don't need a spinner.
You don't need a spinner?
We've got a part-time spinner in Maxwell. He bowls okay. But we've got the firepower of Mitchell Stark, Mitchell Johnson.
So you're saying if there's an Australia-India semi-final at the SCG, favourites Australia?
Yes, slightly.
Slightly.
I'd say 50-50, evenly. Bang in the middle. It's split right in the middle. With the kind of cricket that Team India is playing, on that day, the side that plays better cricket will go on, and hopefully the winner will go on and win the World Cup as well.
Chetan Chauhan, if I put you on the line, here Andrew Simon says, man for man, Australia the better team, slight edge. Do you believe that Australia has the edge against India? They've got to beat Pakistan first, come tomorrow. Let's be clear.
I would wait until tomorrow.
You never know which side Pakistan will get up, which side of the bed Pakistan will get up.
It's a very unpredictable side. You know, Pakistan is a very unpredictable side. Of course,
you think Pakistan can beat Australia?
Well, you never know in cricket. Nobody ever imagined in the wildest of dreams that India could beat West Indies in 1983. Nobody could dream.
That was 32 years ago.
Doesn't matter. Cricket is cricket, whether it's 33 years old or that.
So you're
on paper, Australia is a better side. On paper,
better than India.
Yes, on paper. Let us be honest. You see, when we are sitting here, we are sitting here as experts. You see?
Sure.
But any team which plays better on that day will win the game. That is what I would say about India. And well, India has done well. India has beaten Australia. It's not this that India has not been, of course, at home in the last World Cup.
I take your point, but let me bring in Harbhajan then. Harbhajan, you've seen your team in 2011 win the World Cup. My first question is this team better than the 2011 World Cup team now?
No.
Could I say that? No.
We have won the World Cup. They haven't won as yet.
That's a good point. But again, do you believe that this team is showing the potential to win the World Cup? Andrew Simons is saying man for man, Australia is a better team.
Yes, this team have the potential to lift the cup. But
is Australia the better team at the moment on paper?
Australia is a very good side, and if Australia reach in the semis with India, whoever wins the game, they will end up winning the cup.
So you're saying the other semi-final won't matter? South Africa, New Zealand. No, are we saying that the winner of the India semi-final will win this World Cup?
I think these are the two probably best teams in the competitions, India and Australia. Whoever win the semis out of these two guys, those two teams will end up winning the cup.
Andrew, you agree with that? Whoever wins the India-Australia semi-final, assuming Australia beats Pakistan, I'm going to keep repeating that just so that you don't have a good night today.
This is like a final, Rajdeep.
This is like a final. You believe that Australia-India semi-final will be like the final? Much like your Pakistan semi-final 4 years ago.
If India beat Australia, they will lift the cup, and if Australia beat India, they will lift the cup.
There's a potential banana skin there though for Australia, as we were talking about just before. Australia's still got to beat Pakistan, and they can have a day out every now and then and beat good sides. So Australia have got to be clinical tomorrow, make sure that this doesn't happen.
But this is the best game in the tournament, and make no mistake about it. I'm 100% agreeing with Andrew as well as Harbhajan. I said that in the evening show earlier as well, Rajdeep. The side that wins the semi-final between Australia and India, I'm also presumably saying that Australia is going to beat Pakistan. That's the side that is going to go through and probably be the champions of 2015.
Let me put the question then in conclusion that I put to Saurav Ganguly at the end. If Mahendra Singh Dhoni wins a second World Cup, he's won in India and he goes and wins one outside India, can he and Ricky Ponting be then placed at the same level as the two finest one-day captains along with Clive Lloyd? Or are you still going to give the edge to your old Australian mate Ricky Ponting, Andrew Simons?
I'm going to give Ricky the edge. He's won a lot more games. I know he's played.
You had a much better team.
That's the idea of cricket, isn't it? To have a better team.
The captain is only as good as his team. Dhoni has lifted a young team in this World Cup. This is a young Indian side, and he's taking them to a new level. Why not give him more credit than give a Ponting who had established stars like yourself?
Well, I'm just debating with you over this subject. I think Ricky's a better
captain. You think Ricky's a better captain?
Yes.
Okay, let me bring in Harbhajan, who's had many a run-in with Ricky Ponting over the years.
Ricky Ponting had a lot of match winners in his team, but don't forget, Dhoni also got a lot of match winners. In 2011, there were about 10 match winners in his team. Yeah. And even in this team, though they're a team, but still, you see, every game, there's new one who's coming and scoring runs and winning the game for India. So,
who's the match? Who do you believe? There are 2 matches to go. To win this summit, there are 2 matches to go. If you were to pick, Harbhajan, 1 or 2 players who are going to make that difference. You said your team in 2011 had 10 match winners. Who are those 2 or 3 match winners who you think hold the key now? Today, Rohit scored a big 100. Who holds the key to the semi-finals and final and winning this cup?
I think it's going to be Dhoni and Virat Kohli.
You keep saying the batsmen and the bowlers have picked 70 wickets. They've bowled out every side. I mean,
we have to have runs on the board. Of course, if these guys will put runs on the board, bowlers will do the job.
Well, absolutely. Until unless you get runs on board, force the opposition, put them under pressure. The bowlers in this sort of World Cup at Sydney, it'll be very hard to defend 150, 170 runs on board. 300 runs on board, that's been the classic case of this World Cup. Bat the first 10 overs, 45 odd. Don't lose too many wickets, get close to about 300 runs on board, then it's a different ball game altogether, Rajdeep. But defending 150, 170 runs is not going to be the way forward for the Indian bowling attack.
So we've got to outbat every team in the World Cup. You believe the secret in that sense is outbat all teams in that semi-finals, finals. Then our bowlers get the confidence that they've shown in these matches to bowl out every side. Okay, we're going to judge you at the end of the tournament. We'll come back to that question of Ponting, Ponting and Dhoni. I won't let you go so easily. I think Dhoni is as good as Ponting. But it's been a pleasure, Andrew. Nikhil, Chetan Chauhan, Harbhajan Singh, thank you very much for joining us. That verdict is out at the moment. The jury is still out. How great a captain really is Mahendra Singh Dhoni. We'll know once we know what happens in the semis and the finals.